He's a professor for business here at the business school in Berlin. We founded Over the Fence in 7 years ago, actually, 2013. And at this time, we published the first version of the project canvas. And since then, the project canvas has been applied in thousands of projects, actually. From time to we don't even know how many people are using it actively, but we have received lots of feedback. So we put it open source 7 years ago, and we are so happy that we have received lots of feedback. One of them, one of the very active members of our community actually is Eric, who's also showing the books. Thank you very much, so that I don't need to show them. And we are so happy about the active contributions of people like Eric in the community, and there are more, so that we could improve the project canvas over the years. So now we have the 4th version of the project canvas. And I'm happy to share an online experience of it today. But I will also share, at the beginning here I prepared some slides. This is my agenda for today. I would love to hear from you a little bit so that we know who is in the room together at the beginning. Then you will get a short presentation from me, which is not longer than 50 minutes. And then we will jump into the Project Canvas live experience. And I have organized, I have to say beforehand, a person who has a project, which is Frank, and Eric to help demonstrate the use of the Project Canvas, because we just have like 15 minutes for it, so that we have in the end a few minutes, like 15 minutes also for questions and discussion. So I have to say, I never did this in 1 hour with 40 people. At the moment we are 25, which is good, and without breakout rooms. That's why it's an experiment and it will be fun. Welcome. I would like to start questions, and maybe it's good if you could answer in the chat or just raise your hand and wave. So I will switch to the grid view that I see you all. My first question to you in this room, if you turn on your video, then you can also wave hands and say, do like this. The first question to you is, who in this room is not a project professional? If you don't turn on your video, please answer in the chat. Hey, we have one. This is cool. At least one. So we have kind of a diverse group. Perfect. Another question to all of you. And I would like you to answer with a number. So, which means you say 5 if you absolutely agree and 0 if you do not agree at all. You can write it on a paper and show it to the video or answer in the chat. Okay, but please just write the number and don't hit the enter button for the chat yet, so that we can do it all at the same time, right? It's called the chat storm. Question. Do you love projects? From 0 to 5. What's your number? Okay, do you all have a number? Show it and have a look around. Show it or type it into the chat. And have a look at the chat and at the others. Ah. Have a look. Okay, we have all numbers except 2. Cool. And now I have a second question which involves some math. Please answer the second question without writing yet. Same scale, different question. How popular is project management in your organization or your client's organization? Same principle. So please now look at the number you have right now and please share the difference to the first number. So, for example, you said I love projects 5 and in my organization 3, then say -2, just as an example. Okay, what's the difference? I'm curious. -3, -2, 0, which is cool. But I see lots of minuses and a few pluses, which is interesting. Cool. That was a different type of a check. And I need to sort my slides. And would like to start, thank you very much, with the presentation. And the presentation is about projects newly discovered. And it builds on one of my experiences that project management is not so popular outside the project management community. And we wonder how to change that. How to have more fun in projects with people who may not be so positive about project management. But before we start, I actually do have one more exercise. And this time it's really good if you have something to write, pen and paper, technical requirement for this session. I will ask you a question like, what's the color of sky? And then you just say what comes in your mind, blue, gray, whatsoever. Okay? So the question to you, please just note your answer, don't share it yet, is what is for you a value? You can also write it in the chat, but without hitting enter yet. What's a value? Do you have? It's easy. So please finish your writing and enter. In the chat or you show it? Oh, I can't read actually everything in the video, but you can also maybe type it into the chat because it's so small. So we have a benefit, something else can use to their benefit, creating something, customer achieving their set goal of something.
Karen, sorry to interrupt. For panelists, while you are writing to chat, please have a look at the 2 option, because I receive some private messages, which is the response to Karen's question. If you send it to everyone, see it. Thank you.
Please share with everyone. Okay, we have been asking, while you still maybe send your to the right chat, I will just share some insight, because we have been asking this question to many people. And we have discovered that the answer to the questions can be clustered into 3 areas. And which is like answers related to life. I do this, it's less text, yeah? Answers related to life, like family related, love, freedom, happiness. Then there are answers related to technology, like a value also is a number, is a data, a figure, an attribute in a database. And also the third one is related to business, like money, success, profit, income, capital, customer. Then we were wondering if projects are ventures where people work together from different professions, how can they possibly understand each other? And even we found this so interesting that we did some research there actually. And Frank, who was a professor at the business school, he did an experiment over a few years and always asking this question to students, business students and informatics students when they started their studies. In the first place, when they started, most of the answers were related to life. And then when he asked again the master students, the business students tended to have more answers in the field of business, and the informatics students more into the technology field. And that's even more the case with senior professionals. And that's it. I think that's what we do face in project, is that language is a very challenging thing, that we even use everyday language and understand completely different things. And this is even more true with professional language. So you have, almost all of you, I guess, have learned at PMI about project management. But what we tend to forget is that in projects, most people who work in projects, except the project manager, are not project professionals. And this is why, as we often heard and experienced, the project management language is not so easy to digest for everyone. And that was one of the motivations for us to bring a project canvas, which has a natural language, which is easy to understand by people who do not have a deeper knowledge in project management. So you could say it's kind of a communication tool, like a translation tool from project management to people who work with you on projects. And so we started actually to ask around what is a project, or what are projects that need project management. But we thought we should solve the basic question first. And in order to do so, we were asking this question to hundreds of people in different countries from different professions. And no standard definition of project management appeared. It's more that we got metaphors in the area of the arts, travel. Travel was the most important one. So we decided actually to use a metaphor to describe a project, which is understandable by a 12-year-old, but also by all people from all professions. And because I think describing a project in natural language helps you to have conversations on eye-to-eye level. So not to exclude people by using a professional language other people do not understand. Being aware that even if you use everyday language, you could have misunderstandings, right? So we created a visual which explains a project as a journey, and especially a journey into the unknown. And I try to explain to you what a project is in this simple language in 1 minute or so. Well, a project has a purpose. A person, someone who wants to change the world or something else. They want to make a change. They want to create something, solve something. And in order to do that, they do need a team, a budget, and some resources to go on the trip. And like the goal of the project is to deliver a result to customers in a quality that it puts a sunny smile on their face. And it's a project, so it has a beginning and an end, right? And on your way, you have weather conditions like that give you headwind or tailwind for the project. You do have those little waypoints where you can pause and celebrate success. And they are also be prepared for the unexpected, which can be positive or negative. So those are the risks and chances for the trip. And that basically is a project. It's a temporary organization with some input factors, output factors, a transformation in the middle, and in a certain time. And it's a novel thing. So we realized that this metaphor is helpful for people to create a shared understanding of a project, at least what project is itself. And it's the metaphor which is behind the project canvas. So you will find in the project canvas exactly those areas, and each of them has a single point. And what else is the project canvas? It doesn't have just a metaphor in behind. It also is, foremost, a visual tool. Now I show you this in the book because I didn't want to write everything. It's I don't have to accept words in English. A visual tool for the customer-oriented design of complex projects. And that's a specific thing, is the customer orientation behind the project canvas. In the field customer, like the person who gets the results, we do use different roles of customers as you may used to. That's why I would like to point you to that. Not on the project canvas, the big screen, because it's too small. I have prepared some slides. Because we have experienced that this is very important and this is used very differently also. Okay, your customers, you say there are different roles, 3 hats. There is a role which does not exist in any project management standard. It's the owner of a project. You may call it sponsor. We call it owner, because the owner of a project is the person or the persons who really want to have the project and who have the power to start and stop the project and who really need it. Then there are, of course, the recipients of the results, so the users or the people who will directly benefit from the project result. And the sponsor, defined differently, is the person who gives the money to who has the project budget. And I invite you to try out to differentiate those 3 different roles, because they all have different interests in the project. And it brings a different kind of clarity to to map out these different roles. I'm mentioning it because when I usually work with Canvas with project professionals, they do not see the terms of the project Canvas, but use the terms they are used to. That's why I wanted to highlight this a little bit. So as an invitation, just to try out the different wording. Okay, but that's it for the presentation. And now I would like to invite you to try Project Canvas. In order to do so, we need a project. Frank, you have a project, right? Maybe could you say in just one sentence or one breath? You can say a lot in one breath. What your project is about, and you will have more time. You get some questions later on.
Okay, so tell me if I go overboard. Okay, so we have a driving school in a European city. Let's say Dublin because I'm Irish, and this driving school is losing 4% of its clients every year. Okay, so if it keeps like this, the company will have to start laying off people or close its doors in a couple of years' time. So they need to increase the number of the clients. That's the background of the project, why the project. Will I also say the goal of the project? Oh, I cannot hear you. Your voice is gone. Karen, your voice.
Again, I just wanted to give you the whole stage. No, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Creating a shared understanding of a project on the project canvas takes 90 minutes in total. So we can't do the whole thing here, but what you can do is to demonstrate some elements so that you get a feeling for it and then do it on your own, online or offline, as you like. So we will demonstrate, of course, the online version, which works surprisingly well. And what you need to do at the beginning is to have a project and ideally have the project owner in the room to interview them because they really want the project and know most about the project. And then you can use this dialogue, which we will have right now, either between the owner of the project and the project manager to create a shared understanding of a project in a small group, or even the owner of the project and the whole project team. So we will demonstrate it with Frank as the project giver and Eric as the person who will create the project canvas, and I will ask some questions. So we will just be the three of us so that we can move on a little bit quicker and you all get an expression how it looks like. But that are the rules you can share. And we do have the questions on the project canvas on those little cards, which is really handy for real-life session because more than one person can ask questions when you distribute the cards. And this time I will take the questions. We have an online version of the project canvas, which I shared with Eric already, and now I will show you as a screen share. And here we go. Okay, this is the whole project canvas. It contains 42 questions for the areas of the project journey. And I did it for years that I just put the poster into the room and did this little introduction with the project journey beforehand, then distributed the role, the cards, the questions and post-its. And this time we use digital post-its. So as you might have seen here, by the way, PowerPoint is perfect. No, this one. PowerPoint has post-its, in case you didn't know yet. So perfect little digital post-its, you can write on them. If you use PowerPoint online version, you can write at the same time on the same document. And this is what we are going to do. Okay. Okay, we have Eric who will write and Frank who will answer my questions. And then we do have a secret agenda, which is really important for all Project Canvas workshops. And it doesn't work without the secret agenda, which I will show you now. That's our agenda. It always works. Of course, it does have some more details. And this is an example of timing for a real-life Project Canvas workshop of 90 minutes. And you're probably better in math than I am, but even I can see this is a bit more than 60 minutes, which would be an offsite just working with the Project Canvas session. Online, it takes a bit longer, just for you to know, because we have descriptions and timings in the book for face-to-face workshops. The online version takes a bit longer because people need to write on the laptop or PC, which usually is not as quick as writing on post-its. Okay, so we have a start phase. For this one example, the project giver tells the story of the project and other people are listening, asking questions. And then in the middle of the session, they create the picture on the Project Canvas. And in the end, there is another time to create a shared understanding of the project. That's the whole secret about it. There are some rules, actually, which is really important for an open listening and understanding. That in the beginning phase, in the start phase, there is no discussion allowed. It's really about asking questions, writing what you understand are the answers, and no clarifications. This will happen later. Okay, so let's go into it. Eric, do you have your Project Canvas at hand? I can't hear you. Maybe you can put yourself.
I'm totally ready. Go for it.
Perfect.
I'm on slide 5, by the way.
I stopped the screen share. I just need to find you all again because I don't see you anymore. Where are you? Here. No. Stop sharing. So Frank doesn't need to see this. That's why I stopped sharing. Frank, happy to have you here with your project. We have today, let me say this before, we will use 5 minutes for question only and 5 minutes for Eric to share back what he understood in the middle. And I have this perfect digital timekeeping device here, which is 5 minutes. I put it here and this is the time we have for the question and answers right now. Frank, what is the cause of your project or the motivation need of your project?
The motivation is that we are losing clients every year and we must reverse this, otherwise our business is falling.
And how will this project change the future and for whom?
This project should increase the sales by 10% for 3 years. Instead of going down 4%, losing 4%, this project will increase sales, hopefully for 3% or 10% every year for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly you want to deliver at the end of the project to your customers?
Okay, so many people who use a driving school are younger people, and they in Ireland, let's say there's an online exam for doing exam questions, and so we would like to be to create an online exam simulator, which is very easy to use and help people to prepare for their online exam, and for them to also link into social media and share that they scored so much, and that of course will bring new people into our website, and it'll get more people to know about us. So when they are looking for a driving test, they will come to us.
Cool. So who is the actual customer of your project? You remember maybe the 3 different roles. So
Yeah.
who is the owner? First question, who's the owner of the project? Who's the person or the persons who really want to have this project?
Well, I would say we have it's not a very big company. Let's say the owner might be then the sales manager, because that's the person that most wants it.
Okay. And who will get the project result? Who are the recipients?
The recipients of the results will be everybody in the company. The recipients of the product being produced are new customers that will come in and use their service.
I just make a little pause. I think that's nice for Eric. Maybe I ask you in between, when is the project really closed? So when it's over?
The project will take about, let me see here, my notes. Will take about 3 months to do.
3 months.
Yeah.
Now.
The development costs. And hopefully the benefits will come in for 3 years after that.
Cool. And maybe to make sure we have covered the whole result. So in 3 months' time, what exactly is to deliver it to the recipients of the result?
Okay, in 3 months' time, we will deliver an online exam simulator for a driving school that will be available on their website, and that will be released to the whole world. And people will have to register and may get their email addresses and so on. Okay, then for the next 3 years, hopefully that new feature or new exam simulator on our website will help us to generate new customers for the next 3 years. 10% increase.
Cool. And one question about quality. What makes, oops, sorry, I lost the question. What makes the customer really happy with regard to the result of the project?
Okay.
It's different customers.
Because I'm getting mixed up between customer and customer. But let's say what makes the end customer happy, the young people who want to driving test. Sorry?
The project customer.
Okay. Internally in the company, they want people to use it, of course, and they want to see that it's being spread on social media, and they want you be able to contact these people via email, if possible. GDPR allows it. And then the final result is to see them asking to take driving tests with them, or driving lessons, physical driving lessons with them.
Thank you very much. This was a very quick version, otherwise in the real setting we would have had 20 minutes. But thank you for sharing, Frank. And Eric, how are you doing?
Sorry?
Cool.
I think I got it all.
Let me share my screen. The what happens next machine is now the people who were listening and writing post-its, now bring them to the project canvas, which is pretty simple in an online environment because you can just copy paste them together. and will explain what they understood by using to start. That's the twist. Is like you don't say Frank's project is, or he said that, but you say I have understood the purpose of the project is about, and you may also add I have not yet understood this and that. Yeah, that's the part for the parts you were listening to and writing something for everyone. This is the whole picture of the project canvas as it looks at the moment. Is that readable, or shall I just zoom in? I don't see the chat in case someone was answering there.
I think it's a good idea to discuss some part of it and then zoom in on that and then move on to the next part.
Eric, I will just zoom in to the area you introduced.
Carol, on the left-hand side of the screen, there's also a zoom in button for every attendee. It's not for, yeah, you also have your zoom. Everyone can zoom in or zoom out as well.
That's cool. Okay, Eric, the stage is yours.
All right. Everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, good stuff. So, so I heard that we started first with the cause of the project, which is part of the purpose bar. So I caught three things. I caught that the immediate reason for starting this project is that the Dublin Driving School is losing clients every year with a decline of 4%. We want to turn it around into a growth, making it grow for 10% every year for the next 3 years. And another purpose is to focus on younger people. So they would have a online exam simulator, and with that exam simulator being popular, then new people would then be attracted to go to the website and try out that online exam simulator. So that's what I caught from the purpose. The next questions that I heard of were on the customer side. So the customer, I caught that it was the sales manager that's really interested in getting this done. Yeah, since it's really sales related. And the recipients of the project are everybody in the company, because if we're saving the sales, everybody's going to win. And also the new customers. New customers are going to be using the online exam simulator to better their results. And then the next bit I heard was something about time. I heard it was a 3 months duration, but I didn't hear was a start and stop. Like, when do we start and or when do we want to finish? I didn't hear that. But I did hear also that we are expecting the benefits to last 3 years. And as I said above with the purpose, it's a growth of 10% every year for 3 years in a row. Okay, then we started talking about the results. So what results are going to produce these benefits we're talking about? So we're going to develop a exam simulator for the website. We're going to capture emails worldwide, and the benefit out of those results should be growth for the next 3 years, 10%. And then finally, there was one quality question. So the quality question here was that people wanted to use have people use the exam simulator so it goes viral, so we can attract new customers. But we need to be compliant with GDPR, and we need to, in the end, also have physical driving lessons sold. Anyhow, that's what I caught.
Good. That sounds great. You were listening, Eric. It's nice to know you're listening to me.
Yeah, that's the. And imagine we had distributed the cards between 3, 4, or 5 persons, like your project team. They all listened to you. Then it would also, this presentation now would have taken like 20 minutes. You as a project giver were not allowed to interfere. You were just now in the middle invited to listen to what they understood, also something they didn't understand. Your team will tell you then more things, probably also about what they don't understand. And yeah, that's it. That's the middle part is the change of perspective. And this is what you have now experienced, Frank. How was that for you? It was 3 minutes presentation of Eric, by the way. So you didn't even use the 5 minutes.
But that was good. I mean, he got most of it, but I think you asked good questions as well, so that made it easier to pull it out. And I was kind of ready with the answers as well. So because I have already a project canvas done, so it was in that sense it was good. Yeah. So it was easier than normal.
Yeah, so we are sharing the questions because I was just asking the questions from the cards.
Okay.
And those are the questions who really have developed over the last 7 years. They have had at the beginning much more project management language, and it was so hard for us to make it kind of a clean language, which is hard to answer. The questions are not easy to answer, but I invite you to try them out online or offline.
We will.
And this shift of listening, like in the beginning part, all people listen, focus on their questions and to catch the answers to the questions. And in the middle part, the project owner is just listening. So what you do is that you quickly mirror and create a shared understanding, or at least understand the quality of the shared understanding. And you can check this in the end. So of course you have lots of listening in it, which is not the thing we usually do. And I know it's hard to just listen for 20 minutes. Now you listen for even longer. And then in the end, like the end part of the session, another 20 minutes, you can all discuss together in front of the project canvas and improve the picture together, of course. So in the way you are used to do it. That's the secret. And I will share some questions which are helpful to ask also at the end. So how to rate the shared understanding you have achieved during the session. But now I'm curious about observations and questions from the others who were listening for a long time now. Please just unmute yourself and shoot your questions or ideas.
Karen, one analyst, Ivan, if you want to share something, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Is that even? Eric raises his hand.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
I lost my cards. Where can I buy another set of cards?
So So you can, on the Over the Pants website, you can order a PDF version of the cards. Like you just send us a short email, then you get a free PDF. And on the page, like we send you a password to a download area. There you also find the link how to buy them.
Good stuff.
So we don't sell it, but we have Steadies. I don't know if you know them, as a partner, and they produce and sell the stuff because it's a free license and everyone can sell it. Nassos, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation. And I was wondering, now, in order to finalize the canvas, you said it usually requires one session, and apart from the project owner, who else do you usually invite? Is all the team there? Are there specific stakeholders that are being involved in the process? And is it for, so you can finalize the canvas in just one session, or you want a couple of sessions to have the final picture?
We usually, in the beginning, we always got the question, how long does it take to create a shared understanding of a project? And I always had to say, I don't know, because it exactly depends on how different the perspectives are. But today I'm sure, and we tried this very often, and can say, just finish it in 90 minutes and then evaluate the quality of the shared understanding you have achieved and meet again if participants say they need more. And this is either more shared understanding, or in 90 minutes you create a shared picture. But it doesn't mean that the picture is perfect or even good enough for now to get started. So there is a conclusion part. So 90 minutes for a project canvas session, only 60 minutes for working on the canvas. In the end, you should ask a few questions, which I also share with you to use in the end. So what are possible next steps? And you will figure it out with the people in the room. Who needs to be in the room? Depending on the status of your project. Like you can use the canvas for a project idea where you have no team yet. You can use it for the project start with the whole team, like as a kickoff. And you can also use it with the team and the owner also maybe as a project status review. But then you would just stand in front of the project canvas and look at the things, if they are still true and still your shared understanding, or if you might have during the project and need to change. But the first version, like just project idea, then most of the time it's the project owner together with one person he wants to have as a project manager and maybe a third person supporting the process. And we do have a special format for this. We call it the Thinkers Trio. So for 3 people, it's ready-made for 3 people. It's described in this book. There's a detailed guideline how to do it. And the second thing is the project owner with the team as a kickoff. So they all create a shared understanding. Eric shared some nice stories how they did it. And also other people, we shared them all here. We call it a journey experience. There you have the whole team. It's for 10 people, 12 people or something like that. Minimum 5 people. So it's the project journey experience where different people ask questions and all together create a shared picture. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Thanks, Karen.
Cool. Do I see another hand?
Karen, this is Frank here. You mentioned 3 people and then you mentioned 10 people with the journey. What's the difference? So 3 people for what and when is it 10 people?
The trio version, like the format for 3 people is one person asking the questions. It's actually like we did. We could have spent the whole time, I interview you, and then Eric, which would be the project manager ideally in that case, so that you both really developed a good shared understanding of the project.
Okay.
And in the journey experience, if you have so many people, then you just distribute the cards and people ask questions and write down what they understand for this question.
All right, good.
And then co-create the picture.
Great. I've got a follow-up question. Due to COVID, are you also running these online, or is it possible to run something like this online?
As we did? Yes. Actually, we have made good experiences with PowerPoint online, or you can use Google Slides, where you just go through the whole process, and the other people are using Canvas as Eric did here. What I do with
Today
many
would be
people,
a small example, just showing it, but I'm talking about, let's say at PMI Belgium, if we want to have like a 2 or 3 hour session to do a project canvas and invite people and they can see how it works, then has it been done? Have you done that? And is it possible for us to do it? Your voice is gone.
oh no, it's what happens all the time. We do like also, and this is an offer also, if you like a longer session, like demo session on real projects, but then we do it on Zoom with breakout groups. So in the group, everyone could run such a project, like project canvas session. Or if you work on one project, then you would have in the room just people involved in the project, then you can do it in this setting as well.
It could be very interesting for us, so thank you.
And I recommend for Canvas online session 2 hours. So that you have more time in the beginning and in the end, and really have at least 1 hour for working on the project canvas.
Good, thanks a lot.
Observations, questions, complaints, observations. Oh, I had observations.
Sorry, if I just may, if I'm allowed. I used this canvas, I think the first time 5 years ago, or yeah, about 5 years ago, and it's the first time that I got a compliment from a sponsor that I've never gotten before. So the sponsor was in front of the room. I was the guy asking the questions. I had the team behind me. It was a team of 7 people. And after, I think it was an hour and a half session, the sponsor said to the team and I that he finally felt he was understood. Because I always came with the project management questions, you know, like I asked, like, okay, what's the scope, buddy? So what's the deliverable? And this guy was a renewable energy manager. So he had no idea of what I was talking about. And after going through this process of asking questions and diving deeper, you already get a rough draft. But when the team talks about what they caught, there were a lot of misconceptions floating up. Like the team who was really into doing projects, they made assumptions and they didn't align with what the renewable energy manager was aiming for. So really, after the 1 hour and a half, we had a huge list of assumptions, and that really helped us move forward, like in just 90 minutes. So I just couldn't help it. I just really wanted to share that because that's why I still use the project canvas and the questions in almost all the projects I start off with. It's a great way to capture a project charter. It's all there. Anyhow, that's just.
Thank you very much. It's probably also a good closing, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
may I take the presenter role for a short time to run the live draw? In the meantime, you can continue.
Maybe just one more annotation. If you do have more questions, or I just have one recommendation, which is also to try the project canvas in a small circle before you go to the CIO in an online session. So because we couldn't give you the full thing, which would have taken 2 hours. So I hope you found some inspirations. And I'm always happy to answer your questions also after the presentation. Or if you just wonder, how again shall I do this? I will share all the presentation slides, which I do have an electronic version as well as a PDF with you with pleasure. And just send an email to hello@overtrans, and the link to the website is in the chat. We're happy to be in touch and also learn from your experiences. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank
you, Karen.
Yep. And in the meantime, the random draw came out with. I just quickly looked at the list of participants, and I don't know which chapter you are coming from, but you will have 1 year of free membership to the chapter. We will contact you. I think, Marcus, you have a video there. Yeah. Yes. Congratulations. Okay, Marcus. Karen, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone, for joining. It was this session, such an interactive session, and hope to see you in the other sessions as well. I wish all you a nice afternoon. Bye.
In case you don't have to run, I will be here for 4 minutes. So like in a normal room, so if you would like to stay and chat a little bit, I'm available here for 15
Okay. Right, then I will stop recording and you want to continue. Yep.